Hello students, a very good afternoon to all the students. So students, we are going through nutrition in human. There we have completed the ingestion part and we are going through the digestion part. So we all know that in the process of digestion different organs are used. We are going through the different organ one by one. We have already completed number 1, that is buccal cavity or the oral cavity. So today we are going to start the next type, that is pharynx and esophagus. So students, esophagus is also known as food pipe. Okay, so esophagus is also known as food pipe. So the chewed food is pushed into a long and narrow muscular tube called the food pipe or the esophagus through another short muscular tube called the pharynx. So students, whenever we chew food, that chewed food is pushed into a long narrow muscular tube. So this is a long narrow muscular tube. The food is pushed into this long narrow muscular tube with the help of another short muscular tube called the pharynx. Okay, so pharynx help in pushing the food into the long narrow muscular tube. So that muscular tube is also known as food pipe or esophagus. Okay students. So here you see in image 2.7, movement of food in the esophagus is shown. So you just have to go through the image. So this is this is esophagus. So this is esophagus, this is the relaxed muscle. Okay, there is no contraction or relaxation. This is just relaxed muscle and this is contracted muscle. This is food and this is stomach. So students, when the slightly digested food enters the food pipe, the wall of the esophagus starts contracting and expanding to push the food down into the stomach. So whenever there is a slight digested food enters into the body or food pipe, what happens? The wall of the esophagus starts contracting and expanding. So whenever the food enters from mouth to the food pipe, it will enter here and then contraction and relaxation of the esophagus start. Okay, the esophagus will contract and relax, and then doing so, what happens? The food is then pushed inside the stomach. Okay, here you see the food is pushed inside the stomach. So the contraction and relaxation or expansion help in the movement of food from food pipe to the stomach. Okay students. So the pushing down of food by the wall of the esophagus in a wave-like manner is called peristalsis. So there is a word called peristalsis and that is known as the pushing down of food by the wall of the esophagus. Whenever the esophagus pushes down the food in a wave-like manner, that is known as peristalsis. So you have to remember that peristalsis is the pushing down of food by the wall of the esophagus in a wave-like manner is called peristalsis. So digestion of food does not take place in the esophagus. So students, do not confuse that digestion take place in esophagus, but it does not take in esophagus. It will take place in stomach and further in other organ of the body. Okay students. So next is the stomach. So from esophagus the food goes into the stomach. Then after the food enters to esophagus, it then goes to the stomach. Okay, the stomach is a J-shaped thick wall organ on the left side of the abdomen. So the shape of the stomach is J-shaped and it is very thick walled organ. Okay, that means the wall of the stomach will be very thick and it is present in the left side of the abdomen. Okay, it is present on the left side of the abdomen and it is also the widest part of alimentary canal. So stomach is the widest part of the alimentary canal. The inner wall of the stomach contains some gastric gland. So students, if you think this as your stomach, there are some inner walls, and in the inner walls there are some gastric glands. Okay students, so these glands, they secrete the gastric or digestive juice. This gland help in secreting the gastric or the digestive gland, digestive juice. So that digestive juice contain 3 substances that are known as hydrochloric acid, mucus and pepsin. So students, the gland that are present inside the stomach will help in secreting the gastric juice that contain the substance like the hydrochloric acid, mucus and pepsin. So now we are going to understand the function of all these substances one by one. So number 1, hydrochloric acid kills many harmful bacteria that enter with the food. So students, whenever we take any kind of food, there are some bacteria that are present in the food. So whenever that enter inside our stomach, what happen? The hydrochloric acid, it will kill all the harmful bacteria present inside the food. It provide an acidic medium in the stomach and help the digestive juice to act. So hydrochloric acid will help to provide an acidic medium. It will form a acidic medium inside our stomach, and then it helps in the digestive juices to act. Students, so after forming a acidic medium, the digestive juice will act. Number B, you see, the mucus protect the inner lining of the stomach from the action of enzyme and acid. So mucus will help in protecting the inner lining. So inner lining of the stomach, the mucus will help in protecting it. And then from whom they will protect? From the enzymes and the acid. There are certain enzymes and acid present inside our stomach. So this mucus will help to protect the inner lining of the stomach. If there is no mucus, then the inner lining will be affected by the enzymes and the acid. Students. So number C, you see, in the acidic medium, what happens? Pepsin digests the protein in the food to form simple soluble substance called the peptodes. So inside the stomach there is an acidic medium. So in acidic medium, what happens? Pepsin will digest the protein that is present in the food. So we all know that in food there is protein. Those protein will be digested by pepsin. Students. Why? Because pepsin wants to make the food into a very simple and soluble substance. And then what happens? The proteins will be converted into peptodes. Students. So here you see, protein in presence of pepsin in acidic medium in the stomach will help to convert protein into peptode. Students. So consequently, what happens? The food get converted into a partially digested semi-solid food called the chyme. So after all this, what happens? The food will be converted partially. That means not completely but partially. They will be converted into partially digested semi-solid. That means a semi-solid, not fully solid. So, and that partially digested and semi-solid food will be called as chyme. Students. Here in the stomach, the partially and semi-solid food will be called as chyme. The chyme leaves the stomach and then enters the small intestine. So after converting the protein into peptodes, the food is converted into partially digested semi-solid food, and that is known as chyme, and chyme will leave the stomach and then finally it will enter the small intestine. Students. So I hope it is clear to you till here. Tomorrow we will start with the next topic. So thank you so much.